Hello, and welcome to the new look Stonegate News for Q1. Now, I know you're used to seeing Simon in these videos. Don't worry, we haven't taken him out of the pub. He's still out and about, and we'll speak to him a little bit later. So this video's got a new look and feel. It's a little bit more high-tech, and we'll be presenting the different stories from a studio. Now, earlier this week, Simon was in Derby at our new call centre, which we call the Hub, and I'm delighted to confirm it's up and running, fully functional, and already taking calls from our customers. So now it's time to go over and join Simon to find out how the business has been doing during Q1. So Simon, how has Q1 been for Stonegate?
So we got off to a flyer, Tim. It's been an exceptional 16 weeks for our little company. Our like-for-like sales during that period of time are over 4%. Our Christmas trading, that key 4-week period, we were at 5.5%. And after Q1, we're over £1 million ahead of our profit budget.
Wow, that's fantastic. What do you think have been the main drivers of that success?
I think there's only ever one answer to that question. Behind every success story, it's a story about people. And we've got 14,000 employees in Stonegate and 700 general managers who are delivering an outstanding performance. When I get into the detail, I think about sport. So we've got 6.5% game time growth. We've sold over 4,000 beer towers. Our Project Two Fingers, where we're looking at giving customers that extra special service at the table, we've got over 600,000 drinks sold with that initiative. But it's really the key events as well that are making such a difference to us, and that's why our Christmas sales and profit numbers were so damn good.
And I know we had a huge push for Christmas pre-booked sales. Has that had the desired effect?
So in typical Stonegate straightforward fashion, we got right in amongst it at Christmas. I was really proud to see that we sold over 600,000 Christmas covers. Our like-for-like covers were up 6%. We had a record sales day. That was the Mad Friday, the 22nd, where the Stonegate sales were £5.5 million, and over 250 sites beat their record in terms of weekly sales. It was a phenomenal period for us.
That really is impressive. It's obviously been a fantastic Christmas for the business. Do we know how we fared against our competitors?
We love smashing the competition again. It's another Stonegate trait. The market's running at about 1%. So it gives you a feeling in terms of our results at over 4 in Q1 and 5.5 over Christmas, just how exceptional this performance was. We're really winning the battle for customer market share.
So we talk about the focus on our big rocks, which are sport and key events, our capital plan, #GreatServe, and team member retention. But what about the other big rocks? How's our capital plan going?
So we're off to a good start again in Q1. We spent nearly £10 million. The returns from that are over 50%. When I look at our 3-year average returns, they're running at about 34%. Again, industry-leading numbers. A bit of work to do, particularly on the cost base. But we've got plans this year to complete the programme, spending £30 million investing in our pubs, bars and venues.
Well, there really is a lot going on. Are there any particular investments you'd like to pull out from Q1?
I don't like to pick on individual sites particularly, but a couple maybe that I'd mention. The Loxley in Nottingham had been a really troubled business for us, and I think Phil and his team have done a brilliant job. It's a proper pub, important on sport, and it's got over 90% return on investment. I think that's been standout. And I've got to go to Leeds, so Mark in the Slug and Lettuce there, it's one of our smaller slug businesses, and Mark and the team there have smashed their par by over 10k a week. It's been a phenomenal piece of work.
Absolutely. And what about #GreatServe?
We're really encouraged. So our average net promoter score in the company is 62. But when I look at Common Room and Slug and Lettuce, who are both over 70, they're the top performers, and they're also our best performers from a sales and profit point of view. So it gives you that crucial link between great service and delivering exceptional sales and profit.
And last but not least, how are we doing in terms of team retention?
Some real improvement on last year. So we're 16% ahead of our number. We're chasing our year-end target of getting below 100%. That'll be the first time we've achieved that in the company. And to help that, you're aware that we've launched #GreatInduction, ensuring that all of our team members understand the importance of genuinely friendly service.
And do you have any personal highlights from Q1?
I think our bar to boardroom policy, belief, philosophy is the thing that excites me most. So we've now broken through the 150 mark in terms of accelerators, so that homegrown talent within the business being appointed general managers. And we've now got 15 area managers within our team who have been grown in this business from general manager. I am so proud of those stats and the culture that we're building.
Thanks, Simon. I think we can safely say it's been a fantastic Q1 for the business.
Thanks, Tim.
So, looking ahead to our priorities for the rest of the year, we have a significant opportunity to really drive pre-booked sales. And in one of the biggest changes for the business this year, we've just launched our brand new call centre called The Hub in Derby. Simon went along to see how the new team are getting on.
So I'm here above the Friary in Derby, and this is our new call centre that we know as the Hub. And this follows the pilot we did in London, where we demonstrated that having a dedicated sales line and team meant that we drew sales and the amount of pre-booked. And of course, pre-booked is a key battleground for Stonegate in 2018 and 19. We know that we were only answering a third of all calls that were coming to site. We know that our competitors have moved ahead of us in this area. So pre-booked in Stonegate about 4%, in a company like Revolution it's 25%. And finally, we've got to play for our strengths. So in our city centres, let's say one particular Stonegate business is fully booked, we can move that customer demand into other of our pubs. And also customers who want to come through a whole evening with us, where we can take them from pub to bar to venue. So we haven't just rushed into this. There's been a pilot, and to tell you some of the results from that pilot, I'm delighted to introduce our General Manager of the Slug and Lettuce at Harpenden, Terry Rigg. So Terry, record-breaking sales over Christmas. Congratulations. Tell me how the trial went.
The trial went really well, very positive from my team. We had record-breaking pre-booked sales. We had 3 weeks of record sales and 2 periods of record sales. As soon as my calls were diverted away to the call centre, it meant my staff could concentrate on running the business.
So that was Christmas. Has the momentum continued into January?
Definitely, period 5 has been a record period again for us, and we're fully booked now every weekend now up until March.
So I get that, you know, every call is being answered, but were there other benefits?
Other benefits are my staff and myself can concentrate on social media, which is generating extra income for the site as well, and we can concentrate on Great Serve, which has helped increase my NPS score from 50% to 65%.
Any downsides?
Downsides, no, not at all. It's been really positive.
It's really encouraging to hear. So if you had one message to colleague general managers out in the field, what would that be?
Embrace the change, get on board. It's going to bring us in line with Revolutions, and it gives you more time to actually run your business.
Terry, thanks for all your support during the trial.
Thank you.
So of course that was one Slug and Lettuce, but to talk about the impact on the whole of the brand and all the businesses, our operations director, Kate Wilton. So how many Slug and Lettuces were involved in the trial, Kate?
There were 14 sites over a period of 6 weeks, and we generated just over 10,000 bookings. So for Slug and Lettuce alone, that's potentially 500,000 bookings a year.
And what was the GM feedback?
Initially, there were some reservations, which is understandable. We were asking the guys to entrust their pre-book business to the call centre team. But actually, the results and the feedback were really positive, so that outweighed the reservations and gave the guys some real confidence.
So it worked? We made more money?
Yeah, absolutely, it worked. I mean, obviously, there's some learnings that we will take forward for the rollout, but the results speak for themselves.
And what would be your one message for the team?
I think my message would be, this is the biggest opportunity that we've seen, certainly in my time, I think. So I would encourage the guys to have the faith, to grab it with both hands and run with it.
Thanks for coming to Derby, Kate.
Thank you, Simon.
So, coming back to the Hub, we moved from London and took our first calls here on the 5th of February. Over the next 6 weeks, we're going to be transitioning all of the branded business as well as our hotels. I'd now like to introduce you to Colin Wilson, who's our hub manager. Now, Colin has been a pub operator all his life and an area manager with Stonegate over the last 3 years. So Colin, tell me about the hub.
Yeah, so we've got a team of 16 hub execs in the hub. They're a mixture of Stonegate people and experienced call centre operatives from the likes of Sky and Vodafone. We take calls as the site, so the customer thinks they're effectively speaking to somebody from the site. And we take the bookings and process them on CMS. Any bookings up to 10 covers. Anything over 10 covers we take as an inquiry and we contact site to make sure that they can handle that inquiry.
Wow. So I guess GMs are going to worry about losing control, maybe being overbooked and embarrassed. How are you going to make sure that doesn't happen?
Yeah, I think communication is key, so I'm really keen to make sure that the communication with the GMs is utmost from the start. In terms of the booking parameters on CMS, they set the booking parameters and they set the booking types that we can process.
Sure. Any teething problems so far?
I think we've got some complex venues, so we have venues like Salsa that are obviously complex in their nature, so we have some challenges, but we're working with the GM and the sales coordinator at the site to make sure that we kind of overcome them.
So big advantages for you?
For me, the big advantages are we are answering all the calls, so we've gone from kind of 2 in 3 calls being missed, we're now taking all the calls. After that, we've got a team of experienced people that can handle the calls and making sure that we're kind of upselling and making sure that we're taking every advantage from that call.
So if there were sort of top tips for our general managers, what would they be?
So I've kind of got 3. So the first one would be communicate, use as an operation, use it to make sure that any queries or concerns they've got, they should talk to us and we'll do the same in reply. Really keen to make sure that we move on from paper diaries simply because we can double book and overbook, and I don't want that situation. I want to get to the point where we're taking bookings for them, we're feeding sales into their sites and they're not having a paper diary in site where they've got an opportunity to double book. And the third one is a one-team approach, which is one of our values anyway.
Colin, thank you for all the work you've done so far. And I know that our area managers and general managers will see great confidence in having Colin pulling the strings here as a former operator, and that's really important for us. But pre-booked is a key battleground for us over the next couple of years. We know we've got a standing start, we know we've got real opportunity to grow the top line, but it's going to take that one-team mentality to give those customers the best possible experience before they arrive, as well as when they get to a Stonegate venue.
Well, that's nearly it for this update. But before we finish, let's take a brief look ahead into Q2. Simon.
Thanks, Tim. I try and do things in 3, so I'd say this. The hub and the formation of our sales team driving pre-book, that has to be the biggest piece of change in the business, and it has to be the most important element of Q2, and we're going to reap the rewards of the work that we're doing in the years ahead. I think secondly, I'm always thinking about the key events, those reasons that customers come out. So we've started the Six Nations well. We've got St. Patrick's Day and Mother's Day, depending on your customer base. We look ahead to Easter, which will be important for all of us. And of course, that Joshua fight in Cardiff. So key events remain massive. And our preparation then for the World Cup. This is a £6 million sales opportunity. So we need to live, eat and breathe World Cup throughout the organisation. And then I think thirdly, I'm going to go back to people, and I'm going to go to Albert and ATOP and start saying, 9 out of our 10 general managers we want recruited from within. That's massive. So, show me your talent, bring me your talent. How are we doing with award and accolade and accelerators? We really look to embed the culture of homegrown talent in the business.
Thanks, Simon. I hope you've enjoyed this update from Q1, and I look forward to seeing you all at the engagement forums in May. Now, we all know that Simon does like to have the last word, so it's goodbye from me, and we'll hand back over to him.
So in some ways, you don't need me to tell you about the fantastic momentum within Stonegate Pub Company. In Q1, we paid a record amount of bonus, over £1 million, to our general managers and support team. And this hasn't happened by accident. This is about the dedication, the hard work, and at times the brilliance of our team members throughout the country. So I'm going to raise my glass and say cheers and thank you for everything you've done.